Hello, Do Mindfulness Collective. This right here, right now, is the joy of being a live stream. Lovely to see you here. No audio. That's weird. Let me know if you're hearing me now. Lovely. Okay, folks. Welcome. It's lovely to see you here. Great to have everyone back for the stream. Thank you so much for joining us. I have been away. You have been away. Everything's been a certain way. But today, everything's going to be a different way. Do you know why? Because we have a very special guest today. You might have already heard. We have ourselves a little furry friend who I'm going to introduce to you. We're going to do some big debut soon. But right now, we'll do a little meditation, which is the good news. So the good news is we're going to meditate today for a little while. But first I want to tell a little story. I have a number of stories to tell. But first, before we start and jump into that, let me know where you're coming from. Oh, wait, I'm on a different camera today. The usual camera broke down for some reason. I think somebody who's staying here broke my cam link. So we're on this camera now. Hello, welcome everyone. So let us know where you're coming from. Where are you right now? Brooklyn in the house. Where are folks coming from? How are things going? I was in... That's not how you spell Thailand. But that's where I was in Thailand, which was amazing, delightful, really exciting, and I had a good time. Had a lot of fun, and a lot of things went up and went down, but let me know where you're coming from. So, what happened? A lot happened. I went on the honeymoon, my wife and I, my brand new lovely wife, which many of you know is Raquel, which, by the way, there's a rumor, it's unclear yet, but there's a rumor that she will be joining us on Friday to do lots of chatting and Q&A, but we went to Thailand, which was such a delight. And the whole time we were really excited because we knew that if we come back, we're going to get a puppy, which we did. So that's amazing. So we had this adorable little puppy who I'm going to debut right after the stream. And today we got back actually like 48 hours ago. I actually got back and I was like, there's no way that I was... that I'm going to stream on the 20th. That can't be. I couldn't have set myself up to do that. Like the minute I get back, I'm still like very woozy with jet lag. But welcome here. We have our friend Tamalan from Cape Comorin, India. Wonderful. I didn't know you were in Cape Comorin. That's my favorite cape in all of India. This is a favorite cape that I know about. So we had a good time. First, we went up north, which was really fun. We did saw some, what are they called, temples. We hung out, we connected, we met people, which was nice. Nick, welcome back. Good to see you too. Long time. So reporting from flu-ridden bed in Karlstad, Sweden. Well, I'm very sorry to hear that you're not feeling well, but I'm mostly happy that you're here with us. I'm glad you could weather the storm. No matter how sick you get, no matter what the situation, just always come on the stream. Even if you're on your last dying breath, we'll have you on no matter what. We'd love to have you here. So what happened? We went up north. We actually saw elephants. We got to ride the elephants standing on their backs, and they did some logging with us, which was fun. No, I'm just kidding. We're hanging out with elephants who were rescued from those kind of situations. And we met a 104-year-old elephant lady they were like any minute now. This is actually, we thought she would be gone by now, but we got to hang out with her, got to pet the elephants. And then we went down south to the islands on, I think, was it the last day? It was like the last full day that we had there. We decided to go on a cruise of a nature park. And it was at that point when kind of maybe the most dramatic thing, I got food poisoning at one point. I got stepped on coral and I had some coral in my foot that I had to self-extract. I had to go to the pharmacy. Oh, hello. Great to see you. This means that someone just followed. Thank you. Good to see you, Sanpreet. Thank you so much for following. What was I going to say? Oh, so I stepped on coral. I had to go to the pharmacy and I was like, do you have a scalpel? And they didn't. They gave me a syringe that was very sharp. And then I just had to dig until I got this coral out, which was funny. But that's minor drama. The big drama was the very last day where I, like a very stable genius, accidentally dropped my phone into the Gulf of Mexico. Now, you might think, hey, it's a waterproof phone. It's only 15 feet down. Ah, Sanpreet, welcome from Dubai. Good to see you here. We were just hanging out with some people from Dubai when we were in Thailand. Um, so phone takes a dive, and you'd think, okay, it's only 15 feet deep, more or less. So what is that, like 5 meters? And we're like, okay, well, that's not that deep. And, we had a sense of where it went down roughly within a sort of, few foot, 10-foot radius. And someone actually, I am from Discord, actually. Oh, so Tamerlan's talking to you, not talking to me. I thought maybe you're coming over from Discord. So pop is what's the next thing? Oh, so anyway, so someone actually saw my phone fall when it fell, and they were like, "Oh, I saw it fall, but I just thought you knew, so I didn't mention it." So we were already like traveling away when I realized my phone was gone. So we went back. The whole ship of people, all the family who was driving the boat and everything came back, and everyone was looking for my phone, which is very sweet. I thought that was very kind. And we never found it. So that is the story of my phone. I've been out without a phone for several days. Just yesterday, I got another exact copy of the same phone. Just before I had left, I decided to pay for the whole thing off so that I could use it in Thailand. But, sometimes we make mistakes. And sometimes those mistakes involve everyone or 90 something percent of your honeymoon photos. So that is a mistake. That was painful. That one really stung, but it's okay. I feel much better now. Plus, we have an adorable puppy. So, folks, we're going to meditate for about 25 minutes. After that, we're going to meet the puppy, and we're going to do any Q&A anyone likes. At that point, we're going to jump on to any vocal questions people have, which is often the case. Oh, we have to switch this. I think the Discord link is wrong. Tomlin, if you don't mind putting the actual link in there. I can't believe we haven't fixed this. But anyway, put the actual link in there, and then we'll go from there. Lovely. Okay. So, okay, folks. So finding a nice, comfortable position that you can maintain for the duration of the sit. If you haven't meditated before, in this group, we meditate in stillness. So what you want to do is find yourself a nice, comfortable position. Typically, I'm going to recommend allowing the knees to be lower than the hips. Allow the spine to rest. It's actually going to be curved. The spine's going to rest on the hips, which are rocked down just slightly. If the hips rock up, the spine sort of naturally goes in the other direction, and that doesn't feel very good. The back is sort of like rounded. So the hips sort of drop down, the spine rounds naturally this way, and the upper spine can balance on that, so it creates a nice balance between the two. So finding a nice comfortable place to sit, and I will find the striker for the bell, which I had 30 seconds ago. Okay, we're reverting back to our other striker, which is one of Raquel's makeup brushes. Okay, so when you're ready, finding a nice comfortable position, and just gently closing the eyes. Beginning by taking a few comfortable deep breaths and just feeling the body rise and fall. Allowing the eyes to close. We'll begin by sweeping through the body to be sure we're not holding any undue tension. So starting at the top of the head, relax the brow. Relax the muscles behind the eyes. Allow the face to go smooth. And relax the back of the tongue. Allowing the jaw to go slack. No need to hold it closed. Relaxing the neck and the shoulders, allowing the shoulders to succumb to gravity. The upper arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, and relaxing the hands. Letting go of any attempt to control the breath, just letting the body breathe as it will, and noticing the natural tightening and relaxing of the upper chest and upper back as the breath comes and goes. Maybe we've been through this process many times, we've practiced in the past, or maybe it's new. Noticing there's part of the self that is familiar with this process. And there's a self that is experiencing this for the first time. And we're going to hang out with that experience. Relaxing the belly and the lower back. Relaxing the hips and the upper legs. The knees and calves. The Achilles. The ankles. And relaxing the feet. And tuning into relaxation throughout the entire body. Zooming out to connect with all of the sensations of the body, anything pleasant or neutral. Letting go of anything unpleasant. Detecting them all together rather than any particular sensation individually. Settling into an open awareness of all of these sensations. Without collapsing down to a tiny bit of attention, just keeping awareness open. Just begin to know some of the detail of the breath in this large pool of sense data. It doesn't have to be the number one thing we attend to. We just want to know some detail. As though we're just slightly raising the volume and the intensity of some breath sensation in this larger pool of awareness of restful sensations in the body. Each time we arrive in a meditation, we arrive with the momentum of all of the previous moments. So the mind might be scattered or bopping around today, or might be sleepy or foggy. So simply knowing this is the type of mind we're arriving with, accepting that. Knowing that some expectations may push against where we are today. That's expected, just letting those be there. Each time you arrive at this balance between attention of some breath sensation and awareness of restful sensations in the body, you can use a label of your choice. And lately I've been enjoying the label all, referring to a balance of these two. Each time you notice this balance, you can use the word all or whatever label you choose. And this begins to train the mind to exactly what we're gearing it towards. We'll make a slight transition. letting go of any particular sense area. We're just going to allow our senses to be open to anything that's occurring, any hearing, and turning the mind to any internal hearing, allowing any of this to arise. Any emotion in the body or any other body sensation. Any visual activation, including the darkness of closed eyes or any sense of space, location, memory, planning, fantasy. Turning towards all of it, all together. Noticing the way the mind continuously constructs time. There's this experience of a perpetual present moment, this wide open sense of some unknown future. And a sense of a past that is not with us, but we still somehow sense it. There was something just a moment ago. I'm going to pay attention to the way that the mind reaches towards a future. It's always about to be. It's always looking for something that is not this. It's just about to happen. We're not looking at fantasy or planning. We're looking at the present moment's quality, the way the mind reaches for a next instant. And this experience that time is continuously moving forward. I'd like you to notice that as you detect this tendency of the mind to reach for another moment, there's also this experience of everything having collapsed, the past being gone. So we're letting our attention rest on the sense of a future, this continuous opening, letting our awareness dip back to that which is collapsed, which is no longer here. The way the expansion of this possible future creates this contraction, this gone experience of the past. Each time you notice this sense of a collapsing past, in the mind you can simply say the word gone. this way, we allow the contrast, this sense of a present, a sense of a future, show us what is not that, what is collapsing, what is gone. Each moment gives us a new opportunity. The opening brightness of the world coming into being from our perceptual vantage point. It is only possible to detect or experience because the mind is experiencing the contrast to that which is collapsing, no longer present, but still expressing a trace, that which was here. Letting awareness collapse into, become, merge with the goning experience, labeling it as such, gone, 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 and letting attention observe the detail of the present and the future of each perceptual instant. You may even notice that as the mind says the word gone, even this gets pulled into this black hole. This collapsing, this passing away. And with each goning experience is a tiny taste of nibbana, of the great fulfilling emptiness. So refining the palate to know this taste, this flavor. And staying with the practice, staying in stillness, allowing a tiny bit of light to enter the eyes, eventually letting them rest on one point as they fully open. And letting go of any technique, just noticing that the system itself can run on the momentum of the practice we were just doing. Part of the system can still detect the gravity of this black hole, of the disappearing experience. Noticing we can detect that even as we're seeing the visual experience of the present. And letting this moment of transition be our teacher, showing us how we might bring this practice into every aspect of our life. Okay. So folks, what on earth was that like? Okay. I'm going to copy and repost this Discord link. If you're new to the stream, welcome. Feel free to follow so you know what's going on here. But I want folks to feel free to jump on the Discord, and I'll tell you why. This is where we're going to give reports, talk about our experience, and almost universally, when people speak their reports now, there's no pressure to do this if you don't want to do it. No pressure. And often speaking our reports and speaking our questions actually has a strong impact on sort of the depth that you and I can get into together. So feel free to, the volume seems kind of low. You know what it is that it's high for me. Okay, now I can speak a little louder because it doesn't sound quite so loud to me. So let's see. I have a sleepy leg. So yes, if anyone wants to jump into Discord, we can do the audio style questions. That would mean you jump into the voice waiting room, and then I will pull you on over. Let's see here. That's not Discord. This is Discord. Welcome to Discord, self. Okay, we have... okay. Okay, so if anyone wants to jump into the voice waiting room, I am here to answer your questions. So what on earth was that like? That was a bit of a strange practice, especially if you're new here. We're catching up on a theme we've been doing for a while, which is noting gone. Now, this is what I'm going to guess. There's some people doing this practice who are here with us right now, have no idea what the hell we just did, and feel confused. Now, I want to know. I want to know all about that. So please and thank you. Feel free to drop in. Let me know what's happening. What is the story? And let me know what that was like for you. Because if it's challenging or difficult, that's normal. You know, we just got this pup who you'll be introduced to pretty soon. But because we got this puppy, what we find is that you have to introduce it to things very, very slowly. Every little thing is new. We were like, it was actually, we had it for one day, less than a day. It was like 5 hours, and it was responding to its name. It's very, very smart. It's really remarkable. And we were just going back and forth and saying, you know, Sila, which is its name, if you don't know, Sila is the, and I'll put it in the chat here. Sila is an ancient term for basically any movement towards goodness. In other words, morality. So her name is Sila, and we're saying Sila, and she's coming to us, and we're giving her a treat each time. But then I tried something where I moved away like 2 feet or just sort of moved to the side, and she was very confused. So every incremental step, the mind needs to learn it again. So if this was challenging, it's maybe because we added like 5 steps, and maybe you just need a little bit of support on 1 or 2 of them, and suddenly the mind will catch up with what we're doing. Or maybe this is very easy for you, maybe very straightforward. So let me know in the chat what your report was. What was that like? Because I cannot read your mind. I do not have that power. I'm getting it later today, but it's at the shop, and I had to get the iPhone first before I got that power. So let me know. What was that like? What happened, and what are you like now? And if anyone's joining us here from our friends next door, we got a nice friendly invite from the, let's see here, mindfulness meditation community. I forget. I think that's mindfulness and meditation community. That's what it's called. So thank you so much for Christian, our friend over there, who's been connecting us with folks. So if you're coming from there, welcome. Today was a somewhat complex and advanced meditation, if that's your experience. If not, then it's very straightforward. But let us know what that was like for you. What happened? I think people are holding out, giving reports because they know that if they wait long enough, the puppy will appear, which is exactly true, but you know. Okay, so folks, write down your reports, throw something in the chat if you'd like. It was weird to think that past sensations were just gone forever. So that's, we're hearing from, this is quite the name here. LYS 991803. I'm guessing I'm pronouncing that correctly. I don't know if that's your birth name, but that's what we'll call you. LYS. So it's weird to think of the past being gone forever. That's the nature of the past, which is very strange, that it's always collapsing and it's always being reborn. And there can actually be, when you say it's strange, maybe it was somewhat uncomfortable. Sometimes it can be scary to recognize that this moment is just collapsing continuously. That can be a remarkable insight to realize, hey, not only this too shall pass, but this too is passing right now. This is collapsing currently. And the mind, especially when things are challenging or difficult, it'll tend to say this moment is going to last forever. I'm going to be in pain or suffering or challenged forever. But it's crazy because it's literally collapsing as we're talking about it, as we're experiencing it. Right now, as I'm talking, the present moment is collapsing into a past that will not be here anymore. So that can be scary. It can also lead people towards a kind of nihilism, which is not unheard of, not uncommon, where people will have this sense that what's the point? It's all just emptiness and all collapsing, and what's the reason to be here? But the answer, the reason to be here, is exactly sila, is the possibility of growing and nurturing and learning and improving and helping the world, which is exactly part of the reason why we wanted to name our puppy Sila, is just to remind us that to grow and to help other people really is the ultimate reason to exist, and even helping ourselves and growing and moving towards goodness, whatever that means for us individually. So, hopefully that helps qualify or answer your question. Okay, so folks, write down your reports, write down your questions, write down any experiences you had. Thank you so much, LYS. I'll call you Lysa for now. Thank you so much for that. Let's see here. Nick says, it's a bit low, yeah. Not enough real estate in consciousness to keep nausea from occupying most of it. Most of it. So it was more challenging than usual to follow. It makes perfect sense, especially this gawning stuff. It is a bit weird when you're not familiar with Shinzen stuff. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. So if folks don't know, where my main teacher, Shinzen Young, he basically breaks down, one of his things he does is sort of break down all of these different experiences that one can have into individual techniques. One of those techniques is called Gon, which is noting the passing of experiences. It's worth keeping in mind that this is part of a series. This is probably the 6th or 7th one in this series. So it's, this is probably, we're getting a little bit challenging. Also, Nick is in our, I believe, Frank, I know Frank is in the class. I think you're in the class right now, the Progress of Shinsight Path of Awakening class. God, am I missing something? Anyway, I'm not sure. Nick, tell me if you're in that class. We're slowly sort of building up pieces one by one, so that's part of it. So, folks, throw your reports into the chat, and I'm going to come back in just a second with the most adorable being that I've personally met. I will be back in one moment. Don't go anywhere. Oh, you're not in the class. Okay, well, that's what it's part of it's actually going to be what we're getting towards in the future, so. Hey, look at that. My favorite meditation cushion. I was like, what's this on the floor? It's bursted open, and these are its seeds coming out. Oh, okay, well, that's worth knowing. The seam has broken on this cushion. Okay, well, it's actually Raquel's cushion, so I'm not that worried. Look who it is. It's the tiny little baby Sila. Hello. Okay. Hello. Hello, little lady. Look at this little cutie. Look how calm she is. Exactly. Everyone's just waiting. So look at this little beauty. She's so adorable. Sorry, I'm just pining over my own little puppy, and she's very well behaved. Look, she's just like, okay, this is the stream. Look, hi stream, hi, hello. Do you want to say hi up close with our extreme wide angle lens? I bet you do. Hello, look how quiet she is. She's 10 weeks old. She's 10 weeks old. She's just getting used to reality. What's this on her head? Okay. Hello. Yeah, she has puppy breath. Totally. Did you ever see the Simpsons where Ralph says, my cat's breath smells like cat food. That's exactly her experience. It's like, hey, why does your breath smell like dog food all the time? She's such a cute. She's got these cute socks. She's just like adorable. I know. She's on. How do you like being world famous here, little lady? How do you like that? Little cutie. Yeah, with your cute little big eyebrows. If you don't know, she's a miniature schnauzer, and we found out recently that her family lineage is that she's her father is a grand champion, her mother's a champion, and in her bloodline, as far as her relatives, it's like 85% champions. So we're not planning on showing her in any way, but she has a long line of champions in her life being. But she's incredibly well behaved. I'm just like sitting here holding her, and she's just like, yep, cool. For a 10-week-old puppy, this is like very incredible. And that's part of the reason we picked this particular breed, is that they can be very calm, and we need her to be able to be trained to be utterly silent for reasons you are probably guessing right now. My little darling. And she's so tiny too. She seems like she's so big when she's close up like that, but she's so little. She's going to be bigger. She'll probably be twice this size eventually. Are you saying something? She's making little noises, and I can't tell if you can hear them. Aw, little cutie. Well, this is our little Sela. She's going to be a new feature on the live stream pretty frequently. You can ask her any questions you want, and she will answer any questions with true doggy Buddha nature. We thought about naming it something about Buddha nature. If anyone knows, there's this story of the God, I wish I remember the Zen monk, but somebody came up to the Zen monk and asked him, hey, does a puppy have Buddha nature? They're pointing at a puppy. And the premise actually is that everything had, the theory at the time was everything had Buddha nature, everything alive had Buddha nature. Maybe even everything not alive, but I think at the time the belief was everything alive. And the monk says in a very serious way, he says, no. And it's a koan that has been lasted for a very long time. There's whole groups of Buddhists now that all they do is they chant mu over another word mu, which is and I think it's Japanese, but it means no. Over and over and over again they say no, no, which I think is a meditation on what we were talking about before, which is not this, the absence of that which is present right now. So this dog exists and not exists at the same time. Our mind will detect the part that is here, that is present, and in order to detect that, it has to know the contrast of that which is not here. So this dog's mind is likely in some ways closer to the classical awakening experience than ours is. I don't want to say that all animals are awakened or something. Maybe they are, but I don't know. But just the fact that she's not seeing the world from a terribly dualist perspective. She probably has some degree of identity, but I don't think she clings to that identity. Oh, so cute. She's sleepy. Let's see. Nick says, babies and animals are interesting. You can feel the total non-judgment in their eyes. Yeah. She's just like, hello, hello. I mean, it's funny because I think that the way she looks at the camera, right? Oh, so cute. The way she looks at the camera, if she does, it doesn't mean anything different to her. And the sense of self that she's experiencing here now, she's looking at the screen. She doesn't care. Her sense of self is very different than ours because we have this very sort of like right now, my sense of self for a moment went to the screen, which is the sort of self as other. And I was looking at that, and then all of a sudden self jumped to my experience in this particular, over here, as though this is where self was, as though it was anywhere. And so we can sort of, in a sense, jump around and put the self in all these different places, and yet we have this idea that the self is really continuous. It's ongoing and never changes. And that said, what if this puppy was self? What if this puppy was me? And how is it not me? And I think that there's a way in which animals sort of represent that. They're sort of like both part of us and also like in their own non-self universe. So very cute. She has a little drop on her nose. You little lady. So that's her. So folks, unless there's questions, which there doesn't have to be, we're going to jump off the stream, and we're going to see you here in 2 days. I think we're going to do a real big, sort of larger reveal, or larger sort of coming out party for our little lady here. But until then, it's less than 48 hours from now. We're going to be back here meditating our asses off. If anyone has any questions or requests on types of meditation, please feel free to drop me a line. And any questions you have, if you let me know, drop me on Discord. I will answer those extensively. Yeah, look at that cute little yawn. And I'll be happy to answer those on the stream or offline if you'd prefer. If you're not following us, please feel free to drop a follow. If you do, you get a jangling thing on the screen right now. What a cutie. It's funny, all a dog has to do is yawn to be cute, and I'm like, oh my god. Whereas if a human yawns, I'm like, cover your mouth. So yeah, feel free to follow. It's a great way to find out what's going on here, or jump on our Discord, which is Tomalin, if you can even hear me right now, usually is hanging out on the sidelines. Please feel free to drop our Discord link in the chat right now. I can't really type with a doggy in hand. This is beautiful little Stila. So, okay, guys, great to see you. I'm going to put on the outro music. I can still see your chats, but you won't be able to see me. No. What's that sound? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? All right, folks, excited to see you in less than 48 hours. No, that's not the screen I wanted. Oh, you know what? It was crazy. Okay. What happened? Okay, so let's see. Wide. Outro. Okay. Okay, let's stick on this outro. So good to see everyone. Thank you, everyone, for joining.